Ha! Hey everyone, Hassan here. Welcome to the world of Ha. Today I have another Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reignition review for you. And this is the Blade Blaster. This is the classic iconic weapon for all of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Not their own signature unique weapons that each Ranger had, but just the standard one that was there for each Ranger in the show. And I'm excited about this one. So this I actually got from Walmart.com. I did not have this at my local Walmart. I don't believe the local Walmarts in the U.S. currently have this, at least from what I've been seeing in all the pictures and videos of people finding toys at Walmart. But it was on Walmart.com, so I ordered it. And here it is. We'll take a look at the packaging and everything. I also, up until this point, to be honest with you, as soon as I got it, I took it out of the packaging. I took a picture, posted online to say, hey, I got these toys. And then, I briefly looked at this toy in a review, at this angle. In one of my other videos, I said, oh, and I also got the Blade Blaster to review, and I sort of popped it up. But I've always been looking at it straight on from this angle. I never actually looked at the box itself and realized that, it was damaged. So, thank you, Walmart.com, for that shipping. It is what it is, I guess. Thankfully, at least at a glance, it seems like the item itself is okay. Obviously, we'll open it up and check, but just realized that. All right, anyways, in terms of the Blade Blaster, this one's interesting because I never had the Blade Blaster from the original 90s, toy line for Mighty Morphin. What I did have is I had this one that I think is the 2010 toy line, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. It's a much smaller version. It kind of looks like a little Happy Meal toy in comparison, but it does make the blaster, and you can push the button and it kind of lights up right there a little bit. And, it's very satisfying to do this movement. The sword, the blade does come out right there. So you do have that mode as well. So it does all the transformations. It's got a good amount of detail and everything. It's just a little bit on the smaller side, as you can see. But again, for kids, not for adults, so that's fine. And there's no sounds or anything, right? So that, it's fine, right? But then, the Legacy toy line, you got this big boy right here. So we're going to do a full comparison a little bit later. But I just wanted to put that in the context of that's what I've experienced so far. And now we have this one that at a glance maybe seems to be kind of a good middle ground there. So, excited to check this out. So it does say Blade Blaster with lights and sounds. Morphs into Blade, 2 weapons in 1. 20 plus phrases and SFX. I was not expecting that much for this sort of thing, so kind of curious. I assume there'll be a bunch of generic phrases in addition to blaster sounds, maybe sword sounds too. But let's do the try me real quick and see what happens. Look on it, fire! I was not expecting a female voice. I'm not gonna lie, because usually all the toys have, a male voice. It's usually supposed to be the Red Ranger making the sounds. That kind of sounded like the voice that they used. It's not actually Trini's voice, but the voice that they used for Trini in the Morpher. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised.
Power up! Look on it, fire! It's Morphin time! Power up! Power up! Blade Blasters, up!
All right, well, we'll go through all the sounds, but all right, I'm pleasantly surprised. There's a good mix of, male and female voices there. So hey, I'll take it. That's nice. All right, well, again, here's the box. Same standard stuff there. You got the picture of the Rangers there. There's the bottom. Take a look at the back. I know it's crushed a little there, but basically showing the blaster and then how you transform it. And interesting that it looks like the blade shoots out from the front. Maybe when you pull this, it does that. I don't know. We have to see. It doesn't slide out from the bottom like these other toys do. At least at a glance. Maybe it does. Morphs into Blade, and it lights up as well. So that's kind of cool. You have the story there and all the other stuff at the bottom. Interesting that this actually shows you the Dinozords versus the Ranger action figures like some of the other toys do. Fortunately, not all of them are out yet in the US, at least. Still need the pterodactyl and the mastodon, and it comes with cute little rangers, but we'll get to that when we get to it. All right, let's get this thing open and take a look. All right, we have the Blade Blaster out of the packaging here. This thing actually is pretty fun. Not gonna lie, I think they've done some cool stuff with it, and there's a few things that I wish they would have done a little bit differently, but there's some unique stuff in here, which is fun. Overall, I would say it looks pretty solid. I mean, it looks like the Blade Blaster. Now, I'm not like an expert. I don't remember the exact details of all the the paint and so forth. I'm going to bring in the Legacy one because I assume this one is going to be pretty much like show accurate to what it is as a collector piece. And also just for comparison scale, you can see that it's close in size. It's a little smaller. And then here's the 2010 one just for reference there. Excuse me. So certainly a little bit smaller. I mean, it's got, the Power Rangers logo, the blue line right there. I guess it doesn't have these painted in, and this part being silver is not there. These pieces are a little bigger than here. But, I mean, you have it, though. You know what I mean? Like, you have most of the stuff. It's just not all of the black lines painted in, but it's still, for the most part, pretty solid. And again, you have die-cast metal, and here it's not, but at least, you got the gray. You even got this little design down there as well. And both sides, too. Sometimes some toys they only do on like one side or whatever, but no, I mean, I would say overall, I think that's pretty solid. I think that actually looks really good. And then the end here is kind of a clear red, and that's on purpose because it actually lights up here, and so this is where you want the light to be visible. So before we get to the transformation, I want to talk about the sounds. There's a bunch of phrases in here, and so let's just kind of walk through some of them. I know I did some of it when it was in the package, but let's just walk through some of the phrases so you can hear what some of them are, and it's random. So notice also when you push the button that it does light up there as well.
Power up! It's Morphin time! Let's blast him!
Also, he just said "let's blast 'em" and then had a sword sound. Interesting.
Time to beat these beasts! Lock on and fire! Let's blast them!
All right, there's a blaster sound.
Power up! Let's take him down! It's Morphin time! Lock on and fire! Power up! Blade blasters up! Blade blasters up! Let's blast! Lock on!
All right, I don't know if that's all the sounds. I feel like I've gone through, a bunch of them that you at least have a good idea. Look, on the one hand, I like that they have male and female voices here, so that's a rarity for Power Rangers toys, to be completely honest with you. At least that aren't like a morpher. So, okay, like I would expect, okay, if you're going to have sounds of the Rangers, you have all of them, right? But a blaster like this, I'm a little bit surprised, which is good. But the downside is, like, I kind of wish that the blaster just had blaster sounds. Like, there's something very satisfying about... I'm going to bring in the Legacy version, and you shoot the thing like you're a kid, and you want to go pew pew, right? You want to do that. And this, if I want to blast stuff, I have to go...
Let's take him down! Power up! Let's blast them!
It's just like yelling stuff at me. And then it also says it's Morphin time. I'm not morphing, I already morphed, I have the blaster.
Time to beat the power up!
Like, that's just not satisfying. Yeah, and I feel like as a kid, that's what I would want. I'd want to go, pew, pew, right? Like, that's the fun of it. Like, that's so satisfying, right? So, I don't know. I wish there was a way that they designed it so, like, either maybe you hold it down and then it does the voice phrases, or you just press it and it does the blaster, or there's a secondary button somewhere for the voice phrases. I just think that would make this from a fun toy, and there's some other stuff, the best part I haven't even shown you yet, to like an excellent toy. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I think is missing. And spoiler alert, same thing when it is in sword mode, it's the same sounds. There's no different sounds, by the way. So you're gonna have references to swords in the blaster mode, references to blasters in the sword mode. It's just kind of awkward, and they're always yelling, yeah, it's Morphin time, and also stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense. It's just a bunch of random voice lines that they put in there. So, yeah. But the best part about this, in my opinion, is the transformation. And so, the way that this works, right? If I take the old 2010 toy, you kind of there's a little tab, you got to like force it out there and manually open up the sword, which again, fine. I don't it works. It's fine. But then the legacy one kind of got a little spoiled where, you pull this back, but then, you hold the little button. And then, first of all, there's this mode right here, which is like I don't remember the exact names of these modes, but this is basically when they put it in their holster, it's not a blaster, it's not a sword, it's just in like the default standby mode, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. This one doesn't do that, and I'll explain why shortly. So that's a limitation, because this one and the 2010 one both can do this mode. The Playmates one does not do this mode. But to do the sword, you would basically do this, and it flips out like that. Very satisfying. Slides out from the bottom. Love it. I would play with this all the time. It's so satisfying, right? This, what happens is you pull back on this, and the sword, or the blade, pops straight out. It doesn't fold out from the bottom. It just shoots straight out. And so you'll see, when I do this, there it is, right? And if you push this back in, it folds in. So... right? And if you do it partially or whatever, the blade can kind of collapse, it sort of does it. But once you pull it all the way out, once you push this, it kind of slides with it, it's sort of connected. And then you just sort of fold it in. There's no button that you have to hold down to do it. You just sort of fold this in. Just make sure when you're doing this, it kind of clashes there. You just have to make sure you're pulling this. You see there's a little bit of a gap all the way down, so that this kind of slides in between, it sort of fits in. There's no click really to it. It just sort of, I guess it kind of is, but you just sort of have to push it in a little bit. So it does feel a little forced to do that, but that's basically what you have to do. And what this does is this locks this part in place so that now the blade won't collapse, right? Because in order for this to collapse, this whole part has to move forward, but it can't move forward because it's stuck in the little teeth of this, right? So to undo it, you would slide this, and then you can do that. Now it's a blade. All right? So there you go. So it does light up and everything. Here's the blade. It is, red and kind of translucent. The lights that you do light up at the bottom of the blade there. So it's supposed to, illuminate it all the way, but it's right at the base there. Again, it's the same sounds.
Time to beat these beasts. Blade blasters, up! Power up! Let's blast them! Let's blast them!
See, there was a blaster sound right there, and it's a sword, right? So it's just the same sounds, basically. It's a good size, even for my adult hand right there. It fits in really well. This is a great size for the toy. I honestly, pretty great. The blade is not the longest, but that's all you really need for this. Yeah, really, really cool. So you can't have the default mode, if I kind of cover the blade like this sort of mode here, because in order for it to be this mode, the blade has to be sticking out. I don't really care that much because I never put it in that default mode anyways, unless I was cosplaying and I had my blade blaster, in the holster. But otherwise, as a kid, I wanted a blade or a sword. That's all I really need. So I don't think it's a big deal, but just for awareness of that as well. So I will also say that transformation is very satisfying, and it's super quick. So let me just show you how to transform from blade to sword and back. Here's the 2010 one, right? Sword, and then blaster. Not bad, but it takes a second to pull out the blade, a little bit faster to go backwards, right? The legacy one, it is a little awkward in front of the camera here with the table in the way, so, I'm trying my best to show you the comparison. But basically, you would go So it just takes a second because you have to make sure you're holding the button to do it, right? But then, you know, no, it's still pretty fast, but it just takes a second. This one is, you ready for it? Done. Boom. Super quick. I mean, it's just like rapid fire. Bam, bam, bam. Like, you can just kind of, I feel like I might break it with how fast I'm like doing this, right? You can even have your own fun by like pulling this out and have a blade, like a blade blaster with a blade out there like that. You know, whatever you want to do. But it is very satisfying to be able to sort of fidget with this and just have that transformation be super quick. So I do actually really like that. Yeah, and then again, you know, I'll just put it in the sword mode again, just for a quick comparison across all of these different items as well. So here's the 2010 version, obviously very mini scale. I mean, the blade is smaller, but not that much smaller, but the whole thing itself is, of course, much smaller. And then, of course, you have the Legacy version, which is, you know, even larger there as well. But again, this is a collectible, right, geared towards a different audience. For kids, I actually think this is a really, really solid toy. It's a really good size. It's very easy to transform, very satisfying. My only gripe, again, just comes down to the sound effects. It just doesn't fit. I almost wish that there were more generic sounds than these sound phrases on the blaster. So that's my only gripe with it. But I don't think it's a deal breaker. I do think this is something that kids will enjoy. And for adult fans, to be honest with you, I actually would probably recommend this as well. I think it looks good enough. It's just fun and satisfying to sort of transform back and forth. And especially if you don't have the Legacy version, I mean, I definitely think this is worth checking out. So that's the Blade Blaster. Let me know in the comment section below what you think as well. Next up is probably the only thing I have left currently, unless I happen to magically find something else in the interim, is the Zords. I have the T-Rex, the Triceratops, and the Saber-Tooth Tiger. I'm going to do the three of them together in a review. So look for that as well. Make sure you're subscribed to be notified of when that comes out. Might be in a few days because I am traveling for a bit as well. So it might be a bit delayed, or maybe not. Maybe I'll get it out in time. We'll see. But either way, make sure you subscribe for more content as well. Thank you all so much, as always. Take care, and I will see you later.